So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Tilden Moschetti. I'm a real estate syndication coach, attorney, and an active real estate syndicator. Welcome to today's presentation, From Top Producer to Syndicator, 5 Steps to Turning Your Success in Brokerage into a Legitimate Investment Firm and Getting Paid the Way Only 1% Does. I'm sure you're familiar with the term syndication, but in layman's terms, it's taking a property and instead of selling it to just one buyer, it's selling it to a legal entity and like an LLC, and then dividing that entity up and selling out membership units in that entity to a pool of investors. And what that does is it helps real estate professionals employ the exact mechanism that REITs and private equity firms use. And I'll talk more specifically about that in a bit, but it uses that mechanism to create that top 1% earning power situation. Let's call it the American dream, where instead of being paid for your services as a real estate agent, your work actually gets rewarded with recurring income and equity and financial freedom. And all of that without costing you more in time, money, or treating your phone just like an extra body part that you just can't live without. What's more, you don't even need to stop doing brokerage because brokerage and syndication go hand in hand, and you can use your brokerage as your safety net until you're ready to make the switch. Now, you already know the path to becoming that top producer. That's why you're here, and that's why you're listening to me now. You already know what it costs in terms of your time and your marketing expenses, so you may very well be skeptical about joining the top 1% of the earners if that also means that you just need to work harder, spin your wheels faster, and invest more of your time and spend more money and more marketing dollars in order to get that money. Don't worry. The more you pay attention to what I'm sharing with you today, the more you'll realize that as someone with a record of a top producer like yourself, you've got an entrepreneurial mindset already. Plus, you've got access to something that most other professionals don't. And that by using that built-in superpower of yours, you too can be making money the way REITs and private equity funds do. Which comes with nice perks, by the way, like buying yachts and jets, and playing ball the way that they do and joining that 1% club is actually really, really doable. Now, it seems customary to start webinars with a story, but look, I'm not a storyteller, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to skip that portion of the program and get straight to the information that you've signed up for. Okay, so let's talk about who this information is for. It's for experienced real estate professionals, which includes commercial real estate agents and brokers, residential agents, developers, property managers, appraisers, those who describe themselves as flippers. If you have experience in real estate, if you've worked with clients, if you have a network, a list of contacts, and you've had your hands on a number of deals and buildings, then this webinar is for you. Basically, if you're a top producer in any field of real estate, you're a great candidate for this training. So here's what I'm going to cover in the next 60 minutes or so. I will prove to you that you're worth way more than the 2 to 3% that your brokerage clients are willing to pay, and how to find clients that will pay, stay, and keep paying more. I will reveal 7 ways to structure your pay in a syndicated deal, which means you'll get to be the one who chooses how much, and when you get paid. I'll share with you a secret about having investors willingly re-engage you in every new syndication. We'll try a syndicator's shoes on for size and see what it's like to be the founder of an investment firm. You'll learn the $1 million question that launched my own syndication journey. I'm going to tell you the story of a guy who didn't think he could be a syndicator at all and you'll see what happens to him in the end. I'll also show you the entire workings of a syndication company. I call it the core, C-O-R-E, and how all the parts of that core work beautifully to ensure that the deal goes down smoothly, and I'll give you the syndication sequence. That's something that happens in each syndication, no matter what the price point. So here is my promise to you. If you stick with me, I'm going to show you a 5-step plan on how to become a syndicator. I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step strategy for making a total of at least 6 figures on each deal that you work on. And again, that's just one deal. If you choose to work on more than one deal, then your income would multiply by a number of deals. And if that seems like an impossible idea, let me tell you, this is not some pie in the sky, but actual numbers I get in my own syndications, and I'll share some of those numbers with you. And it's also numbers that I've helped my partners and my clients generate as well. Really quick, let's go over some ground rules. If I'm going to put all this knowledge into your hands, I want to make sure that you're a person with a moral code. This is not a get-rich-fast scheme, and anyone who tries to do it that way is just going to find themselves with a very short career and probably an investigation by the SEC. Now, on the other hand, for those of you who do have a moral code, which I hope is all of you, well, you'll find yourselves among the 1%ers within a very short period of time. But it is going to take work. The good news is that every agent I've already met is already a hard worker. But instead of putting in all those long hours into a business that's yours and only in name, because let's face it, you've got zero freedom to charge what you really want to charge, that's already dictated by the market. And you have zero freedom to take home all that you make because the brokerage takes it split. So instead of spending in all that time babysitting your pipeline, holding your breath for escrows to close, you'll work on a business that's the exact opposite of the brokerage model. It's a business that won't expire with each transaction, that creates recurring income, and most importantly, sets you up as someone who has equity in each deal, is respected by all of the players in the market. And you could choose to grow that business as big as you want to, or you can decide to keep it relatively small, maybe consistently earning you just a few $100,000 extra a year in addition to your brokerage business, so you don't need to worry about dry spells between checks. In order for this new business to happen, you're gonna need to work hard. But I'm also gonna simplify things for you and make it really easy for you to get started. So this goes without saying, but this is not for schemers. If you're not willing to work for a better lifestyle, I can't help you. My clients, the ones who've gotten the extraordinary results, got there by following the system and doing the work. Those who do the work, they win, which means your results will depend totally on how coachable you are and how ready you are to jump in with both feet, keeping your eye on the ball. So really quick, let me check in with you and sort of see how you feel about your real estate career so far. Okay, so you've been in the real estate business for any decent amount of time, and you've already seen what the brokerage business model has to offer. You've peeked behind the curtain, so to speak, and you know the truth. That being a top producer does not equal grand wealth. Yes, your bank account does get fat at every closed deal, but then the expenses take their toll. So the gross sales number doesn't always tell the full story. And it's not like you're resting on your laurels between those checks either. There are no breaks in this business for top producers or anyone for being experienced. There's no 10,000-hour rule that will ensure higher income than the standard 3% per side. The sellers expect an even higher level of service from you because they're hiring you as a top producer. And the wealthier clients, the higher are the expectations. So the 10,000 hour rule actually works against you. You now have higher standards, but you're getting the same commission percentage. There's no guarantee that your old clients are going to list with you again, or that that deal is going to close, or that the pipeline will keep churning out the way it used to, or that you'll be able to keep filling it. You're also told by your broker that you run your own business, but your broker takes their share of every transaction, and you don't even get to deduct your marketing expenses the way they take, because they take their percentage off the top, and all your marketing fees are just the cost of you doing business. Those of you that are lucky enough to have a subsidy for paying some of those marketing costs, oftentimes you're still chipping in to make sure that you can stay a top producer, so you're supplementing that amount. There is no certainty, absolutely none, in this business. Each deal is a one-of-a-kind jackpot that happens just once with no recurring income whatsoever. And you never know what's actually going to happen next because of technology. I mean, we've already seen it in the residential space with companies like Purple Bricks and Redfin chipping away at the commissions that are available. Is your job going to become obsolete? And to top it off, there are more and more agents coming in. They're either fresh-faced and still living with their parents, or the ones that are looking at it as a desperate attempt at a career change, which doesn't exactly help the overall image of real estate agents.